What is happening, mediocre people of YouTube? So I'm chilling. I'm taking a few days off, and obviously get to check out YouTube. And one of my favorite amplifier guys, Brad's Guitar Garage. He's in Australia. If you don't know about him, go check him out. He's got a great sense of humor, and he really knows his shit, and just like all the amplifier guys I watch, but he just has a really good sense of humor about everything too. So anyway, he just made me aware that apparently the Australian Post Office, they call it the Australian Post, I guess, has decided to suspend all deliveries to the United States. And I'm like, whoa. And of course, people in Australia, they're upset about it. And I would imagine people that are trying to ship, well, just people in Australia, I guess, they're upset about it. And I'm like, why is this happening? And he was saying, well, because because it's apparently they've decided to suspend it because of the new U.S. tariffs that go into effect. And I'm like, well, why are they doing that though? It doesn't make sense. And he's like, well, because nobody knows how to collect these fees and everything. I'm like, well, Australia doesn't have to worry about collecting any fees, and he sent me to an article, Australian newspaper or something, I guess. And I read the article, and as it turns out, that's what it is that basically anything valued over $100 coming from Australia to the United States is now subject to a tariff. I don't know how much. I don't know anything about that, but so the United States is going to be the one to collect the tax. Not Australia doesn't have to worry about anything. All the Australia has to worry about, the Australian Post Office, right? All they have to worry about is the people filling out their declarations page, which a lot of times you have to do anyway. In my experience, anything you ship to another country, you usually have to fill out on a declarations page, or the shipper has to fill it out. Or the buyer has to fill it out. In fact, I can remember stuff coming from China not all that long ago, and they would tell you that, hey, we're going to ship it this way, but I don't ever remember the U.S. collecting a tax from China anyway, no matter what the value was. I guess I always assumed it applied to, larger items or whatever. But anyway, yes, these new U.S. tariffs are starting to take effect, and I think it's great for the United States. For you guys, you guys have been collecting them all along, so you know how great it is for your country. And I'm not talking about necessarily about Australia, because I have no idea what type of tariff is collected from shipping U.S. goods into Australia. I have no idea if there's a tariff or how much it is or anything like that. So I'm not picking on you guys or anything. I'm just saying there's a lot of countries that have, when you ship in from the United States, that country collects sometimes a very large tax. So the United States is starting to do it now with everyone across the board, and hopefully we can get these. I don't want to get rid of them. I want to make sure the United States is in fact collecting that tax as it should be. Now you remember I'm a free trade guy, but I'm a free trade guy if it works both ways, because that's cool, but it hasn't worked that way for the United States in a long, long, long time. What happened here in the United States with the auto industry, especially, which I do know something about being a Detroit guy, you know, basically the United States manufacturers built all their plants in Mexico, built all their product in Mexico, and shipped it here tariff free, and took all our jobs away, all our auto manufacturing jobs away in the process. So yes, I love free trade. I love free trade, and I wish it could be that way. But other countries don't seem to, so, the U.S. is finally saying, hey, enough is enough. We want our piece of the pie too. So, hey, good for the USA. But, yeah, and then the other thing is that, okay, so it's the Australian Post Office that suspended deliveries. I don't think that's that big of a deal, because it's usually other carriers that, as far as guitars and amplifiers go in this case, which would be guitars and amplifier type products, that stuff's usually shipped out not through the post office, but through a different carrier anyway. So, but yeah, Aussie post office really seems to be pissed off at the United States for the current tariffs that have gone into effect as of the 26th. Now, this information I'm giving to you may not be 100% correct. I have not dug into it all that much. All I know is from what Brad, my amp guy over there, was telling me, and in the article he sent me to read. So I've read one article, and I've heard from him. He has no reason to lie. He's not that type of guy. So, so yeah, Aussie Post Office pissed off with the U.S. charging taxes on anything over $100. Go figure, right? I don't know. I hope all this stuff gets worked out in the end. If there is no more free trade in the end, I hope it's an equal tariff on everybody's for everybody's country, like whatever the percentage is. I hope it's the same for every country. Otherwise, you know, free trade would be wonderful. But I don't know how to do that when, you know, when you have. So here's the I don't know if Brad will catch this video or any of his subs, but so here's the USA side of this is that, look, we were at the forefront of free trade, you know, with NAFTA and everything else. We said, hey, free trade, we're all like in, right? And everybody else said, we're all in too, but it never worked that way. What happened was everybody imported their products into the US for free, but then when we would import products into other countries, we got tariffed, you know, we got taxed on our goods. So from the perspective of the USA, that's where we're coming from, is no more. We're going to do the same thing you guys are doing, and that's the way it's going to be until we can come up with either free trade on both ends, or, you know, work something out where, you know, it's an equal tax on both ends. You know, hopefully they work it out so it's free trade on every, you know, on both ends. Because that would be the way to do things, right? I mean, that would be the way to really build the world economy, right? Would be to have free trade for everyone, you know, and everybody play by the same set of rules. Free trade, no, you know, no import taxes. But we'll see how it works out. We'll see how it shakes out. You know, I hope it does. I hope it because this stuff is like with the Aussie post office thing, it sounds to me that it's just, oh, we're mad at the United States, you know, and we don't really care. You know, the United States does not give a shit how angry you are. You want to shut down your postal services, go right ahead. It's not going to hurt us, you know. So yeah, it sounds like the United States is being pissy and greedy, but we're not really. If you really look into it and you really go get the facts of the matter, we're just like, enough is enough. You know, all these other countries are charging massive import taxes for our goods, and we're charging nothing for theirs. And you can go, and I will post it on I will go after I upload this video, I will post to my channel a link to a local guy here in Detroit who breaks down the tariffs for Canada, just for Canada. And you don't have to watch the whole show, but if you just watch the opening of the show, you can listen to him, and he's 100% good source of information. He's not bullshitting or lying or trying to, you know, tell you one thing, you know, where you think you're having a conversation about apples where it's really about oranges. Charlie LaDuff he's 100% factual. So I will post that to my post section on YouTube, and after this video, go check that out. And just go and look what Canada charges us for stuff, you know, based on we don't charge anything for their goods. So that's coming to an end as well. Wow, man. Crazy stuff going on in the world. It'll all shake out. It'll all be all right. Till next time. Peace out. Peace out to the lake. Beautiful little spot here. Hess Lake, Michigan.